Hey guys, Dave Lasowski with Foxhole Productions, giving you a quick walkthrough of how to import and edit some videos using Adobe Clip. So if you have, make sure you have the app. It looks like this one right here, little play button, arrow facing right. So assuming you already have it and signed in, it's gonna look like this, which is just kind of a blank screen, my projects up top. So what we're going to want to do here is, assuming we already have video, I'm going to be using some video that I got the other day. I want to shoot. We're going to hit the plus button up top here. And if you're on an iPhone, it's going to give you options of where you want to import from or take a photo or video. We're going to click on my iPhone. If you're on an Android, it's probably going to look something like device, and it should be right around here. But I'm on iPhone, so we're going to go with this. We're going to click on my iPhone. Now it's going to show a bunch of different albums on your phone where you're going to be able to pull from. And we're going to go to camera roll, or we can go to videos. Videos are part of your camera roll. I'm going to import some of this footage up here. Essentially what you want to do is find the clips that you recently took on your smartphone, and all you have to do is just tap them to select. So I'm gonna pick a few of these here, 5 clips. That'll be all right for now. So I have them selected here. What we're gonna do down the bottom, once you have a few selected, it will say add. You just click that, tap it rather. It's gonna give you the option for automatic or freeform. Now, automatic is basically gonna take the clips that you have there and just kind of algorithmically put them together with music over top of it. And it's, for some purposes, it's all right, but we want to kind of, I don't need to give you a tutorial on how to click automatic. So we're going to click freeform, which is going to let you trim, sequence, and edit manually. So we'll get right into that. Now what it did was imported these 5 clips here. Turn the brightness down a little bit. It imported these 5 clips here, and it'll do the same for whatever clips you have. So what this is going to let us do is control the duration of the clips. It's going to let us trim them using these little sliders. It's going to let us adjust. Sorry about that. It's going to let us adjust down here the volume and audio of the clip. So it's giving us the options to mute the clip or obviously keep the audio on there. So if I had important words that I wanted to get across here, none of these clips do, but if I had something like a testimonial or an interview with someone, I could control how loudly I wanted the clip to play, provided it's, you know, the person wasn't talking loud enough or they were talking too loud or something. I could adjust that there. Smart volume is going to basically make the sound level consistent throughout. So if certain parts are quiet or something like that, it's going to boost and decrease certain parts. And then we've got the audio fade in or fade out option, which is just, you know, if it's a really loud clip, sometimes you're going to want to put those on just so it's a kind of a smooth roll in or smooth roll out from maybe a quieter clip. So that's the audio editing there. Here we've got speed. This is great. When we talk about slow-mo, we're able to slow down a clip here. So just to show you, here it is at full speed. So we'll pause that, bring that back here. And we'll bring it down to, say, 50% or so. 49, close enough. Now we're going to play it now. And you'll notice it's half the speed it was the first time around. That little pullback zoom is way slower. So that's cool. That's convenient. We'll get that back up to 100. And then over here, we've got the option to duplicate the clip or to cut the clip. This is kind of getting a little more in depth, and it's not entirely necessary, I would say, for what we talked about. But if you're interested in seeing that, basically we could go to like right before some action starts right here and hit split at playhead. And now we have two separate clips. So if I wanted only, you know, this part where it's pulling back instead of that whole clip, now I've got that there, and I can edit this one separately. So I've got a nice turn there. I could trim that back, and now I've got that as well as this separate thing. This is convenient if you have, if you kind of kept your camera on and you kept it rolling the whole time, but you were getting different things and you kind of want to break those apart into separate parts of your video. But not entirely necessary, but I figured I'd show you anyway. So now we've got all our clips down here. This one's looking like that. And what's cool with this is, we'll bring it back, it plays, when you're in this view, the entire like video. It shows down here duration 56 seconds. So I'm gonna let this play through a little bit, and you'll see it jump to the next clip there based on after where we cut it. And then we've got the next clip starting here. Obviously it's not edited yet, but it just runs through all the clips that you have in this kind of timeline. What we're looking at here is a lice clinic, actually. Very exciting. Had to do a little promo video for them, so it was kind of just a bunch of extra footage of like smooth movements through their location. So if I were editing this on my phone, I would go to this next clip here, I'd watch it, and I'd kind of see where certain things are happening, like, oh, okay, I messed up that shot, so I brought it back again and got kind of a smoother movement there. So I might go back to this clip and then cut it after I brought it back to right around here once that movement is starting. And then, you know, I don't want it the whole time, so I might just give it that little bit of duration, 3 seconds. So let's see what that looks like. Beautiful, or as beautiful as sinks at a lice clinic can be. And then we can just go through our clips and do the same thing until we have something that, you know, we like. So I kind of got like that nice pan here. Awesome. I really like how that little movement looked. So we'll bring it up to there. Once the movement's starting, we'll bring this back end in because I don't like the rest of what's there. And see where it's going. Cool. I like that 3 second clip. You don't want your clips to really be too long. People's attention spans are real short. So I try and keep my clips kind of between 2 and 4 seconds, if I can. Now, let's see what this one looks like. Okay, so we're kind of getting that walk up toward the front entrance. So what I'm gonna do here, just so you get, you know, different ideas, I'm gonna figure out where I like it. So I might bring it up here where it's kind of, the camera's getting higher, and I'm gonna trim it up to there and pull a little bit off the back. And I think I want this one slow-mo. So we're gonna click the turtle down here, how fitting. And we're gonna slow it down to maybe 60%. And then I'm gonna hit done. Am I gonna hit done? I am gonna hit done. We're gonna watch it now. Again, not the prettiest shot in the world, but I just kind of want to show, like, here's another angle of this place. So we have that shot. My apologies on not showing this earlier. Down the bottom left here, if you're on an iPhone, we have what looks like a little circle, like a pinwheel almost. And that's actually like a camera symbol. Like if you're looking into the front of a camera, that's kind of what it looks like. This is going to let you edit the video a little bit. Kind of like if you've ever edited a photo or put a filter on something, that's essentially what this is doing. So if you look at this clip up top here, it's gonna let me adjust the exposure. So I can bring that slider up, and I mean, that's extreme, but you can see that it's giving that super bright effect. Or I can bring it down and make it super dark. So it was a little dark in there, so we might just brighten it up a little bit. Don't want to go too crazy. Now let me see, kind of just playing with this one, what it looks like. The highlights. Highlights are anything that is super bright. You'll notice that it's making it brighter or darker, brighter or darker. So we might just make that a little tiny bit brighter. Shadows is, again, the dark parts, either making them brighter or making them darker. Now it's pretty dark in here, so we might just pull them up a little bit. Again, use your discretion here, what you think looks good. It's super basic, but it's enough to kind of make a shot look a little bit prettier sometimes. Now we're gonna hit done. Go to this last clip here. And okay, we've got flowers kind of along the wall. Nice little pan. Again, not the prettiest shot in the world. I know I used some of these for the actual video, but we're gonna make do with what we got. So we're gonna move forward. I like that last little zoom up that we had. So I think what we're gonna do is maybe trim it all the way up to here, where we got that little flyby, and we're gonna bring it in a little bit to, actually we'll leave it right there. Now it's a short clip, so it's just, actually let me start that one over again. That one is just like a second, super quick. So what I might do is kind of throw that in between these 3-second clips. If you hold it down, if you hold any of these clips down and drag them, you can move them around in the timeline. So if I put it, we'll say between these 2 3-second clips, and then I bring it back to this one. So you just tap that one and I play. It's gonna show that one, and then it's gonna jump to the flower shot and jump to the next one. And then that kind of closing shot going toward the entrance again. Let's see what we got. So maybe we'll close out with the kind of nice chalkboard look again. So let's see what we're looking at with just the trimming and basic editing. Let it play through, saying that the duration is 18 seconds. Cool. So that is the trimming and editing part of things. It's very straightforward and very intuitive, because all you do is just drag these around to a spot that you like, where you want it to start. So and it shows you right in there where you're adjusting it to. So we'll just leave that right there. Now, once you have an order and cuts that you like, it does have music options. Sorry, we have music options right up here. If you're on Android, it might be in a different spot, but a lot of the symbols and wordage are the same or very similar. So what we're gonna do is click that little music note icon, and then it's giving us options of Premiere Clip themes. So these are songs that they have built in. So let's see what Colony sounds like. So I don't really like that one, but it lets you play it and hear it, and you can drag around. It's kind of the ongoing theme here is you're able to drag around with your finger to where you want to hear. So, okay, yeah, I heard the beginning. What does the end sound like? Okay, cool. So let's maybe hear echoes. Not really liking that. Feels a little too dramatic for what we're doing here. So that's not bad. I actually kind of like that. It kind of gives this like playful mood to something that kind of, you know, a situation that sucks, getting lice. So we can add that up top there. And what this is going to do now is give us the option kind of to cut around with the song as well. So it gives us a bunch of options here. We can play, and that's going to play the song over top of the clips. And then it's just going to stop automatically when the clips stop. So that was 18 seconds. Now, if we wanted to, we can go in here, and if we like a certain part of the song more, this is called a waveform that we're seeing right here. This is basically just the visual representation of the audio. So usually when there's like a little bit of down stuff and then something bigger here, that's another part of the song starting. So let's hear what that sounds like. So if we start it here, that's what it sounds like. But if we push it to here, not too much different. I mean, we could slide this all the way down to like something like this and just hear what it sounds like. So you get the idea. You can control how loud it is. So if there's people talking and you want the music really quiet, you can start it over. Let's see if we can. So that makes the music more quiet. There's audio actually on the clips that normally if it's just showing location stuff like this, I would cut that and just use the music. Now it also gives you some other options here. So we'll just bring that back to the start. Sync to music. When this is on, trimming a clip will snap to the beats of the soundtrack. This is one of those automatic things that, again, I don't really recommend, because if you've just went through the trouble of trimming these clips to exactly where you like them, turning this on is gonna mess all that up. So I personally say, maybe veer away from that. If it's just like you're making a montage of stuff, you don't care as much about specific cuts, sure, go for it. Auto mix, when this is on, clip will lower the soundtrack volume when there is audio, people talking, sound effects present in your video. This is cool because it's, if you have clips where you want everything else quiet, except when people are talking, you can keep this on. It's on right now. You can keep it on, and the audio, the music will dip down when people are talking. So that's handy to have for a lot of the videos that we talked about. Soundtrack looping. This means that if your video is way longer than the song you picked, the song will start over again and play. Now, audio fade in, audio fade out. Again, that's like we talked before. If you want the song to fade in, you can turn that on. Let's see how that sounds. Turn the volume up a little bit. I don't even know if you could tell, but there was a gentle little fade on that. And then the fade out is just so it kind of comes together nicely at the end. So we'll leave that in there, volume around there, and click done. Now if we play it, we should hear it with music. So there you go. You have music in there now. If we wanted to pick a different song, we could go delete, which was right there. We could go back to here, and if you have music saved to your phone, you can go in and pick songs. I've got quite a bit of stuff on here. Let's go back. Artists, trying to find something that's kind of decent. Arctic Monkeys. Are You Mine? Let's hear this. If it'll play. Can I add it? Just a second. So maybe what I'll do is pick something that's actually saved to my phone. Jesse. We'll pick this. Maybe I also don't have this saved to my phone. So that's giving me an issue right now. Of course, when I'm recording, that's what's going to happen. But that is how you can go in and also add your own music that you would prefer to have there. They have a decent amount of stuff, like variety right here of music to use, like just all different sounding stuff that you can mess around with and check out based on the mood of your video. Or if you just have, you know, music that's already in the video, you can just use that. You don't need to add that. You know, you've got some different stuff up here, settings. So it'll show you look, which is up top. This is basically just a filter that's going to apply to all of your clips. So if I wanted this to look like noir, that's what it's going to look like. It's going to give you a little preview up top there. Retro, something like that. Dreams. So it's got a bunch of different things you can play around with. I like normal, so we're going to keep that. For this, you know what? For the sake of this, we'll put on noir because that's pretty dramatic. Fade in from black. That's going to kind of, if you ever watched a movie and it fades in from the very beginning from that black screen, that's what that does. Sometimes it looks nice to be a little less jarring. We'll put that on. Fade out to black. It's the same thing, but in reverse. We'll put that on too. Crossfade between clips. What that's going to do is give like a nice fade transition between your clips in there. So let's see what that looks like. Photo motion. When this is on clip, we'll zoom in on photos to give a moving slideshow effect. So you can add in photos here too. If you have, say, you know, you're making a promo video about an event that you hosted, and you have pictures of groups of people that are smiling, and you want to put those in there too. You can put like a photo in there for maybe 3 seconds, and it'll slowly zoom in so that it gives it a little motion, so it's not like just a slideshow. We don't have photos, but we have that on. And then video bumper is again one of those little more advanced things where it kind of gives you the option to have like an intro. Now, we're not going to go into that because it's a whole nother thing, but there is the option there if you would like to pursue that further. So we're going to click done. It's going to bring us back here, and now we'll watch it again and see how the noir look is on this. Plus the crossfade. And the fade in and out. So what that did though was the crossfade kind of creates an overlap. So it's like that short clip that we had there was hardly even shown because it's crossing into the next thing. Like we didn't even see anything on that clip. So in a situation like that, I'd say, maybe not. But apart from that, we can go back to the beginning there. The fade up from black, jump to the next clip. So we can go through there. I will, real quick, remove the audio from the clips just because it sounds pretty bad. And again, remember we just go down there, we can turn the play audio off. So I'm going to do that for all the clips because we don't have people talking. We just have gross background sound. So I'll get rid of those. We deleted the song, so we're going to go back in there. Premiere clip themes. Which one did we have? Not that one. Hammock. We're going to add hammock back in. Volume down a little bit. All those options are good. and fade it in, fade it out. It's got a nice even look throughout the entire thing. We've got music in there. The ugly sound from the clips is out. This is together. And if you have the hang of it, know what you're doing, you can get it done very quickly. So it's like, okay, cool. I like the look that we have. If you want, you can click this up the top to give that full screen view and kind of watch through your options or watch through your edit, which we already did. Now it's okay, great. I like what I have. How do I get it online? Well, what we're gonna do is click up the top right here, this little export button. It's a box with an arrow going out. If you're on Android, it looks like probably like 3 dots with a line between them, kind of like a little zigzag. Should be up here as well. So what you want to do is click that. It gives you a bunch of different options of where you can save this to. What I would suggest, so you have the most control, is click Save to Camera Roll, which is the opposite of that export. It's a box with an internal arrow, so it's like save here. If you're on an Android, this might say like save to device or save to gallery. So we're gonna do click that, and now it is saving our video. Little progress bar here. If it's a longer video, it'll obviously take a longer period of time. Okay, it says video saved. Great. Now we have that, so we can just close out of that, head to our gallery. I'm gonna click camera roll, and if your latest video should be So there you have it. That is how you go through, import clips, edit them, make the tweaks you need. Super basic, super straightforward, and it's really just going to kind of bring some cohesion to what you do. This is great again if you're doing something like a testimonial and you want to talk first, or you want to film the testimonial but then afterward make a little commentary about it. You can hold the camera toward you and say, hey, I'm Dave. Just, you know, what you're about to see was an awesome testimonial from a great client of mine that I had. We did blah, 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 and here you go. And then, you know, you can cut in that separate video of the person talking and just have music behind it if you want, you know, can edit it a little bit and just cut that together. So it's a great way to do stuff like that. Promo videos, all the types of videos we talked about at the workshop, product demonstration, FAQs, things like that, where maybe you don't get it on the first take and you have different things you need to cut together. This is the quickest way to do it. So I hope that got a little more in depth than we did in person, and gave you the info that you need. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to just contact me at David Lisowski. It's LISOWSKI at foxholeproductions.com. If you're friends with me on Facebook, shoot me a message. If you have my number, feel free to shoot me a text. Just get a hold of me and I will be glad to answer any questions you have. So thanks for tuning in.